Hey guys, this is your boy Dino aka DLP here, and welcome back to another video to my channel, another video on me reacting to Death Battle, guys. Yes, I'm going to be reacting to the latest Death Battle, Mahito versus Shigaraki, Mahito from Jujutsu Kaisen, and Shigaraki from My Hero Academia. A Death Battle I'm actually very invested in watching. So, since they revealed this whole Death Battle that this is going on, I was very hyped, as you could tell from the last Death Battle reaction. I was thinking about it, because I've watched both shows, and I know how both of them work. And I gotta say, I personally feel like if there's someone who's gonna come out victorious in this battle, I see Mahito coming out victorious in this Death Battle. Mainly because Mahito, just like the Jujutsu Kaisen characters, are very tricky to deal with. Like, especially Mahito in this case, where he can manipulate his own soul and manipulate other people's souls, and you know how to transfiguration. Like, he's got this idol transfiguration technique where he could just manipulate the shape and size of the soul, I guess. I'm assuming that's what it is. It's been a while since I watched Jujutsu Kaisen, so please do forgive me if I'm getting the info wrong. But he's able to do something like with the souls and whatnot, which made him such a tricky opponent to go up against in Jujutsu Kaisen anime. Any people that went up against him, they had a bit of a hard time against him. Except Itadori Yuji. Obviously, his divergent fist technique was able to, like, it was kind of like a prolonged strike, so he was like the only one that could affect Mahito's soul directly. So that's why in that fight against Itadori Yuji in the high school, in his high school, right, in the high school building, which is where he went up against Mahito, which is where Mahito was like, okay, this guy is actually hurting me. Until then, he didn't actually really have a problem against opponents in general. So I don't know if Shigaraki can go as far as actually hurting Mahito, like actually getting in contact with his soul and damaging it, I guess. It was like the only thing that came to my mind, so I was like, can Shigaraki actually really hurt Mahito? That was like the first question that got to me. So, in my opinion, right now, without obviously, once I see the research, it might change, but right now, I would say Mahito would be the one to win against Shigaraki in this Death Battle, but we shall see. We shall see. I'm very excited to watch this. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Right. 55. Start recording fine. PC screen's fine. Volume's doing okay. Let's get this up. Let's get going. Okay. Alright. Alright, let's get to this in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh shit! You see what he just did? That is
Shigaraki versus Mahito.
You see, that's another thing. All Mahito needs to do is just make direct contact with you, just like a little finger. Just instant contact to you, and you're done for. Like, we've seen him do that in the anime. Just one contact. Mahito just needs to put one contact in you, one physical contact, and it's over. He just can just manipulate you from the inside. It's crazy.
The symbol of fear versus the human disaster curse.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Let's see. Let's see.
Tenko Shimura was just a sweet, shy boy who loved superheroes.
Sometimes the hand of fate can't abide sweet shy boys.
Ruthlessly beaten and abused by his hero-hating father, Tenko pushed beyond his emotional limits until he activated his inherent superpower, or quirk.
It wasn't something cool like flight or super strength. In his terror, he accidentally killed his whole family. Well, except for dear old dad. That one was intentional.
Tenko wandered the streets alone, silently begging for someone, anyone, to help him. If only a hero was there to save him. But instead, the only open hand he found belonged to the devil.
All
Yeah.
for one.
All
The
for one,
greatest
yep.
super villain in history.
He took Tenko under his wing, feeding a hatred of everyone and everything, and grooming him to one day lead his League of Villains in destroying Hero Society.
With that
Oh,
came
boy.
a new name, Tomura Shigaraki, and an absolutely nightmarish quirk, Decay. It
Decay,
does what it says on the
disgusting.
tin. Anything Shiggy touches
Yeah.
with all 5 fingers turns to dust. The perfect.
I mean, that's probably why they put these two against each other. One physical contact. Both of them just needs to make one contact with, like, their opponents, and they're done for. Like, in Shigaraki's case, they go into dust. Decay technique, his ability, his quirk to decay, which basically just disintegrates, like, physical matter and energy attacks. And it's the same case with Mahito. He just manipulates your soul, like, completely.
power for someone who just wants to destroy. Pretty menacing, if not for that dorky-ass costume. I get it, hands are his thing, but come on, they just look so dumb and fake.
Oh, those aren't prosthetics. Those are real hands from his family that he killed, attached to his face, and explicitly commanded to be left there by his mentor so that he would never forget his rage.
Okay.
While his use of decay started off relatively weak, it rapidly increased in power and range as Shigaraki came into his own.
Decay isn't even limited to whatever he's touching. Anything that touches something he's decaying also decays.
Spreading like an all-consuming miasma that can wipe out anything from an enormous tower to an entire city.
If decay
That's
reaches
crazy.
you, your only hope is to isolate the body part that is disintegrating before it gets to something vital.
After years of training with the greatest supervillain of all time, Shigaraki was finally put in charge of his own team with one mission. He must kill his master's rival, the number
All
one
Might.
hero, All Might.
Yep.
Only to fall flat on his face.
Shigaraki was a terrible leader, quick-tempered, short-sighted, and, well,
Cringe! Oh, he's just so cringe. He uses gamer lingo unironically. He whines like a baby when things don't go his way. He's
That's
the
true.
kind of guy who would say normie in real life, in front of normies.
but they say defeat is the greatest teacher of all. Only through struggle could Shigaraki manifest his dark conviction.
Right as All Might's new protege, Izuku Midoriya, was
Yep.
coming into his own as well.
These two rivals, the inheritors of their master's blood feud, would push themselves past their own limitations.
Especially when All Might and All For One double KO'd each other, leaving Shigaraki to lead the League of Villains all by himself.
And with the stakes higher than ever before,
I wouldn't exactly say a double KO. I feel like All Might actually beat All for One there. Like, I could see why he said a double KO, because it's after that fight that All Might just. I think it was that decisive fight that essentially made All Might retire, right, from like hero stuff. He just basically lost that. He just can't use his quirk anymore. So I can see why he's meant double KO at that point. So I guess it makes sense.
Shigaraki stepped up. He personally battled the monstrous Gigantomachia for a month and a half straight and conquered other villain organizations to create the Paranormal Liberation Front. Thousands of new soldiers for his personal army.
All to impress All For One's personal quack, Dr. Ujiko, who spent months upgrading Shigaraki's body to make it more like his sensei's. It might
That's
have been
ridiculous.
constant agony, but Shiggy went from Chud to Chad.
Ujiko's experimentation vastly increased Shigaraki's strength, speed, and durability, enough to
Yeah.
match and surpass even All Might's absurd power.
Sharing
it's
All Might's
ridiculous.
power between them, Deku and Bakugo were able to punch an island-sized hole in a cloud that reached 24 miles into the sky. We've calculated that before to be nearly 80 million megatons of TNT.
They're bringing you
almost
that
as much as the
feat, okay,
meteor
from
that
that
wiped out
level.
the dinosaurs.
And Shigaraki can now move fast enough that his body produces hypersonic shockwaves and
That's
can even
ridiculous.
catch laser beams.
And he's tough enough to survive Star and Stripes Intercontinental Ballistic Cruise Punch. Now the new name for my penis. Move over, Mantico.
I'm not gonna lie, I really missed that hero, Starlight. Like, she only came for a very small bit, like for his small section, like, which is this fight against Shigaraki. But I really liked her as a hero. It would have been nice to see more of her, but it was unfortunate that.
Omega Storm?
Yeah.
Anyway, it also made a blast so big it showed him against the curvature of the Earth.
Though he might seem invincible, when Shigaraki's body is pushed hard enough, he will evolve into a state of uncontrollable power.
So
That's
Decay
ridiculous.
became? Oh shit! more hands!
Shigaraki can spontaneously generate flesh into existence, seemingly oceans of it in an instant, whenever
My
he wants.
God.
He can even use it as a type of armor to defend himself in close combat.
But that's nothing compared to Ujiko's greatest gift. Shigaraki wanted to be the new All-for-One, so what better way than the old man's quirk?
All for One's quirk, All for One, allows its user to steal and store quirks with just a touch.
And All-for-One has hundreds of them stored up, collected over the years.
Each quirk is connected to a memory of its user's essence in the form of a spirit, a vestige.
Kinda like a piece of their soul. They exist in this kinda psychic world in Shigaraki's body, and can even act as a spiritual defense should it be invaded.
And with those vestiges came quirks like super fast healing, air blast, radio waves, flight, telekinesis, teleportation of others, and the ability to track foes.
It
That is
can even
ridiculous.
combine multiple quirks together, like in this big-ass electric Kamehameha.
However, any vestige stolen or destroyed will also remove that quirk from Shigaraki's repertoire. They're also sentient, and some can even fight for control.
Which is when the second shoe finally dropped. Because Shigaraki also got All-for-One's vestige, that means All-for-One was now in possession of a shiny new body that he'd spent the last 15 years molding for him to take over.
Shigaraki's entire existence was planned from the beginning. Why? Because All Might's previous mentor was Nana Shimura, Tenko's grandmother.
Oh, that to mess with All Might. That is some next level hating right there.
He manipulated Shigaraki's entire life, all for one purpose.
Destroyed Deka City for Gigantomachia for 1.5 months. Caught laser beams to prove the legitimacy of the quirk singularity doomsday theory. Could decay all of Japan in a week. I mean, Japan is a big place, to be fair, so far stronger than All Might. Defeated Redistro, Stars and Stripes, Eraserhead, Stars and Stripes, that's the lady's name, I'm assuming. Eraserhead, Miriko, Bakugo, oh yeah, this, yeah.
Create a soul so corrupted it would grind away at All Might's perfect world, allowing All for One to take full control.
But All-for-One's possession wasn't complete, and Shiggy managed to fight his way back to the top, literally decaying his way through vestiges in the process.
That's
all
ridiculous.
To fight his rival Deku one last time.
Despite Izuku's best efforts to save him, Shigaraki was too far gone. His spirit decayed by years of venomous hatred.
And the new symbol of hope defeated the new symbol of fear, burying All-for-One's grudge for good.
All that Shigaraki asked was to be remembered as the heartless destroyer he was.
Interesting. Well, that's probably spoilers because we know if I'm not mistaken, the last season of My Hero Academia is coming this October, isn't it? This year, October. I don't know if this potentially is spoilers.
was raised to be, and not the broken, angry, crying little boy he really was deep inside.
For just that one moment, though, Shiggy got in Deku the only thing he'd been denied his whole life, the one thing his lifelong nihilistic tantrum was really all about. He got a hero who tried to save him.
That's fair.
This battle is sponsored by...
Okay, I'm just going to check if my camera's still running because I've had so many major issues, but I think I've figured out what the issue is about this face cam now because I'm using my old phone. I just bought a new charger. I assumed the charger was an issue, but it turns out it's not the charger, it's the damn phone. I think the connection inside the phone might be a little weird and off, so I might have to get this phone repaired, just like the charger port. So that I can then use this as a face cam. It's perfect, man. I don't have to. Yeah, it's a good camera. It's a good camera. Or the app I'm using is a good app. So yeah, just thought I'd check on that. Okay.
Robin Hood Gold.
Robin Hood has been his.
All right.
Ever since Cain slew his brother Abel and wetted his fields with his blood, man's greatest fear has been his fellow man.
But what if this fear took on a life of its own?
What if all that negative emotion humans felt for one another spilled from their bodies and congealed, forming, over time, a living being fueled by malice, which believes in nothing but the law of the jungle?
Well, then you'd have the special grade curse with the patch face, Mahito.
Yep.
Oh, I've had people tell me I've become a human disaster curse when I've had too many mojitos.
Mahito is one of the deadliest beings to ever afflict mankind. He's
Yeah.
no mere mortal, though, but a cursed spirit. Innumerable spirits exist, weaker or stronger depending on the amount of anxieties, jealousies, hatreds, and fears humans feel about them.
Like the fear of locusts, kinda weak. Or the fear of smallpox, getting stronger. Or the fear of fire. Oh, goodbye, Tokyo.
So
Yeah.
it follows that mankind's fear of itself would be extremely powerful. Those negative emotions manifest as Mahito, a being composed of cursed energy.
It's basically like evil ki. Cursed energy can be used to make spirits way stronger, faster, and tougher than any normal human. And it's invisible, making curses like Mahito impossible for the untrained eye to see. Only a life or death situation can galvanize a normal person to see a cursed spirit.
That also makes cursed spirits virtually immune to physical damage. They may be physically present in space, but can only be harmed by attack.
Physical damage. You see, there you go. They can't take any physical damage. So that's why I was thinking, can Shigaraki even make physical contact with Mahito? It's just, you know.
That embody spirit matter like cursed energy.
Which makes curses insanely hard to get rid of, like ghosts, cockroaches, or my ex. That's why you need a Jujutsu sorcerer to come in and Kaizen the shit out of them. They call it exorcism, but I like the way I said it better.
Curses and sorcerers have battled each other for millennia, waging an endless war over the fate of humanity. Almost exclusively in Japan, though, for some reason.
But Mahito was special. You see, most curses are basically dumb animals. But Mahito has so much cursed energy that it gave him sentience.
So he was recruited by Kenjaku alongside other special grade disaster curses to wreak havoc upon the world. In fact, they made Mahito their leader.
And even more frightening than intelligence and bloodlust, Mahito possessed philosophy.
Perhaps informed by the tragic meaninglessness of interhuman conflict,
Oh, my.
Mahito is an existential nihilist, believing in nothing but his own will to power. It's a dog-eat-dog world, and Mahito is the wolf.
Which also makes him kind of a goofball. If nothing matters, why not have fun with the slaughter? Really get your steps in. He loves to dig around and toy with your emotions like a cartoon character before slitting your throat.
An appropriate analogy.
Do you see what he did
considering
there?
his
Yeah.
curse technique, idol transfiguration.
Idol
Using his cursed
transfiguration.
energy, Mahito can control anyone's soul with just a touch.
Yeah. You see, so I'm glad that I remember that he could change the shape of his soul, like,
his
and
own.
other people's soul.
In fact, he's so good at manipulating his own soul that you can't even kill the bastard without directly targeting it.
In Jujutsu Kaisen, the soul and the body share an immutable connection. Whatever happens to the former affects the latter.
This lets Mahito squash, stretch, and shape-shift his body into literally anything he wants, like Play-Doh. He can turn his limbs into blades or clubs, grow wings like a bird or fins like a fish.
You see, this if this shows anything, sorry I keep pausing. If this shows anything about Mahito, is that he's in complete control of his abilities. Shigaraki, we've seen him many times that they've mentioned it in this death battle. He's someone that gets really pissed off when things doesn't go his way. He loses control. And he becomes he's very hot tempered, right? So his decision making drops, like goes out the window. Mahito is very calculated, and he's so in touch and in tune with his soul, for one, and with his abilities. Like he is so in control of his abilities in changing his soul, shape of his soul, changing it into different things. He's got a domain expansion on top of it. So he's just I think when it comes down to this death battle, it's going to be who has more control over their abilities and powers. Mahito's got that full control, which is why I feel like Mahito's going to win this battle.
Reform his body around injuries, or even create clones.
Curse users are naturally unharmed by their own ability. Should he touch a human, though, his alterations to their body are instantly fatal.
And since he's attacking your soul, those physical wounds are gonna be impossible to heal.
Even if his alteration isn't directly fatal, the human body won't last more than a few moments in a transfigured state.
All that with one touch. God, I thought herpes was bad.
His powers mean
No, but,
Mahito treats humans as effectively disposable dolls that he can gleefully experiment on. The more casualties, the better, especially if he gets to break your spirit first and watch you suffer.
Yeah,
Even
he's
more
a
twisted is
sadist.
when he combines two transfigured humans together for soul multiplicity, essentially a giant torrent of body horror flesh that he repels at an opponent. Ugh.
Mahito is unbelievably creative with his application of idol transfiguration, and despite being a newborn curse, consistently keeps experienced sorcerers on the back foot.
It helps that he's a quick study who's picked up a number of different curse techniques, like the Black Flash.
By applying
Yeah,
curse
that's
energy
ridiculous.
within 1 microsecond of an impact with an enemy,
He's very
space
small.
itself will distort, exponentially amplifying its force by a factor of 2.5.
Not only does this hurt like a mother, it restores your curse technique and gets you fully in the zone.
And would require reflexes moving nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. It's no surprise then that Mahito also unlocked the pinnacle of sorcerer techniques, the domain expansion.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! More hands! A domain is like a barrier of cursed energy, but if you're caught inside, Mahito can use idol transfiguration instantly without
Yeah.
even needing to touch you.
It's called the self-embodiment of perfection,
Perfection.
the ultimate expression of Mahito's absolute control over his victim's body and soul. The only time it ever failed was against the student sorcerer and Mahito's archenemy, Yuji Itadori.
Because not
Itadori.
only was Yuji a barf-inducing goody little two-shoes who believed in the inalienable rights of all living things, blah, 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 he also had a curse inside of him,
The king
Sukuna,
of curses,
bitch.
Sukuna.
which meant Mahito's ability affected both souls in Yuji's body. Sukuna didn't like that. No surprise, and kicked Mahito's ass, forcing Patchface to fight with a handicap whenever facing his pink-haired menace.
Yuji's belief in the value of human life flew directly in the face of the world that Mahito knew to be cruel and meaningless. So he made it his mission to crush Yuji's spirit before killing him, murdering his friends, defiling their corpses, and brutally battering him before going in for the kill.
And he's got the strength to do it. Mahito's one of the most powerful curses in the world, and his growth is exponential.
Fellow disaster curse Jogo was able to summon a massive meteor capable of reducing the city of Shibuya to ash.
That'd take an energy of over 800 kilotons of TNT.
And Mahito can take as good as he can give, especially when, in the throes of struggle against Yuji, he evolved, unlocking a vastly more powerful form, the instant body of distorted killing.
Complete with armored exoskeleton and arm blades, this was a taste of the almighty curse Mahito was growing into, a true blight on all mankind.
It wouldn't last. In a bitter battle of resolve, Yuji won out. In a dog-eat-dog world, there was now a bigger wolf.
So he touched tail and ran
I
away
remember
like
the
a
scene.
bitch. And what do you know?
I remember this scene. It was fucking wild. I was like, bro, Mahito was running like a bitch from him. Oh
Life
man, that was so
suddenly
good.
became a whole lot more meaningful the second it looked like it was about to end.
All that gleeful nihilism, just a bitter hypocrisy in the end.
For him, maybe, but Mahito found a convert in his archenemy. After a battle that wiped out thousands of innocent people, Yuji's youthful spirit was gone. The only thing left that mattered was exorcising this curse.
In a way, that was Mahito's final victory, the destruction of another human being's soul. He may not have been around to see it, but the curse Mahito inflicted on the world would bring it to its knees.
Yeah, it's fair. You know what? I'll be honest. Now that I've seen both researches, I'm much more confident in the fact that Mahito's winning this battle. I don't see Shigaraki beating Mahito with how in tune Mahito is, and to be able to pick up on things so quickly. That it's very true that he's so calculated. He's actually very battle smart as well, picking up on things, other techniques as well, like the Black Flash. Not something you can just easily just replicate, right? But the guy, he's built different. He's like one of the strongest curses out there. So I'm putting my money on Mahito, and I'm quite confident about it as well. I had this, I was thinking Mahito is going to probably win this. So after this research, I'm a bit more confident, a bit more like, yes, I'm putting my money on it. Bro, I will be like, what the fuck if Mahito loses this?
Hey,
I
you
would
see
be
that drum
absolutely...
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
Death
nah.
Metal on the data through all possibilities.
Let's see.
It's time for a death battle!
Yeah, I don't see Shigaraki beating him. Nah, sorry, but it's not happening. Is that? Oh my god! Is that Shibuya Station? Oh my god, bro! What on earth?
I'd heard of a powerful villain stalking these parts. My organization is going to tear this putrid world down around us.
What did those
We could use
passages
the
do?
fruit of your
Fucking hell!
talents.
Little old me. Do I want to be king of the social rejects? How about I bring them your head instead?
Damn.
Fine by me. Let's call this your audition, Sickum.
Ah, oh no move. Oh fuck me. Yep, there you go. Okay.
Game over.
Yeah, as if that shit's gonna work. As if.
Did you actually just see that?
Yeah, as if.
God, how lame!
Gotta. How lame. Damn. Oh, he cloned himself, alright. Yeah, look at this. Damn.
Audition over.
Did I get the part?
Oh, damn, okay.
Decay.
Bro, what were you thinking you're gonna do? Black Flash! Yo!
Rust.
He went into his final form already! Oh my god, okay, Dang! Oh, Jesus!
That all you got?
Domain expansion.
Bro! Domain expansion. This looks really good, you know?
I can read your soul. You're just a scared little boy whose daddy is mean and wants to make it everyone else's problem. Grow up.
What? Wait, what? Wait, hold up. Oh, for one.
My masterpiece.
Huh? Huh? What? That was all for one.
Soul too. You only hate humanity because you were born that way. Totally random. I hate them for a reason. You grow up.
What did I say, Wiz? Like a bitch.
With their complex power sets, this match was a puzzle to figure out, which is why we're breaking it down to 3 categories: physical stats, survivability, and their power.
I've never been so wrong in my life when it comes to Death Battle. Oh my god! What? I was so confident that Mahito had this. I mean, Mahito, yeah. I mean, they show Mahito running away. And it made sense because in the anime, when he know that he just couldn't win against Itadori Yuji, he started running off like a bitch. Don't get me wrong. And Shigaraki is not known to run away from a battle. He's always gone straight forward, right? No matter whether he's going to win or lose, he's always gone forward. Mahito has run away from Yuji. So they've shown that again in this. Wow. I was convinced, though, that Mahito had him.
But first, let's address one thing. Could Shigaraki even see Mahito? He's an invisible curse after all.
Cursed energy and quirks are
it was how they brought out all for one as like, just get out here, bitch. He just nullified his domain expansion. That was it, wild. That was like, I guess that was kind of like a Sukuna moment, right?
Totally different, and Shigaraki wouldn't be able to see curses normally. However, even regular humans can spontaneously develop the ability to see curses in life and death scenarios. And with the Search quirk, Shigaraki would have had no problem tracking it.
So seeing Mahito wouldn't have been an issue. With that out of the way, we can jump into their stats.
This was no contest. Despite the disaster curses being able to destroy entire cities with their cursed energy, Shigaraki's scaling to Deku and Bakugo meant he was calculably millions of times stronger.
He was faster too, considering he could react to light beams, while Mahito's Black Flash capped out at nearly 1,000 times the speed of sound. Nothing to scoff at, but Shiggy was thousands of times faster. Shigaraki takes stats.
But survivability was a little trickier to figure out.
Yep, in terms of raw durability, Shigaraki was a lot tougher, and his ability to generate new flesh meant that he could heal any wounds he might receive super easy.
However, Mahito is a curse, and is immune to the kind of overwhelming physical damage Shigaraki could dish out. Not only that, Mahito's regenerative ability via idle transfiguration meant that he'd come back from anything short of spiritual damage.
Considering Mahito's unique curse body, he should actually get the edge in survivability.
Which
makes sense.
A crucial question. Could Shigaraki even kill a curse like Mahito?
That was my first question. This is the first question that got to me. Can he actually kill a curse like Mahito? Someone who can manipulate his soul so easily and so in so little time to save himself.
In the first place.
Or would Mahito's unkillability give him the time he needed to eventually put Shiggy down with idle transfiguration?
It all comes down to their powers.
Shigaraki had a lot more variety with all of the crazy quirks All For One had collected over all the years.
That makes
none
sense.
that we know of could properly kill a curse. That didn't mean idle transfiguration was a surefire bet either, though.
Of all things, Shigaraki's vestiges served as a spiritual shield from the effects of idle transfiguration. The fact that Mahito could not avoid targeting Sukuna while attacking Yuji meant that he couldn't target specific souls inside a person.
Right,
And
makes
Shiggy
sense.
has
Okay.
hundreds of soul-like entities inside of him. Sure, each one down means he loses a quirk, but that's more than enough time to land a single hit with Decay, especially considering how much faster Shiggy is.
And Mahito has no way to defend against Shigaraki's primary quirk. Decay has affected spiritual beings in the past. Again, vestiges. In fact, he was able to damage Deku's vestige and have that damage transferred to the Deku in the real world.
Mahito may be made of spirit energy, but he still has a physical form. In fact, sorcerers that couldn't naturally target the soul were able to fight him on even footing. No reason to think Shiggy wouldn't decay him like everyone else.
Giving Shigaraki the third and final edge. It was a unique duel to the death, but Shigaraki's overwhelming might, unstoppable powers, and deadly decay spelled the end for the disaster curse.
Nothing else to say. You really gotta hand it to Shigaraki.
The winner is Tomura Shigaraki.
You know what? This was a very good battle. I really enjoyed this battle. And I'm not mad in the least that I was wrong. This was a really good battle. I was like, what? I was completely caught off guard with this battle. Maybe I don't know as much as I thought I did. How many people watching this right now thought Mahito was gonna win like me? Let me know in the comment section below. Maybe I'm just the only one. I don't know. Damn. Okay. Right. What's next?
Next time on Death Battle.
Master Chief as a Doomslayer. Don't think I recognize either of them. Okay.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle.
Okay. Let's see the comment section first. I want to see the comment section below this. So, what are these guys saying? An entity born from a human hatred is no match for an average League of Legends player. Whoever suggested Mahito's head running deserves a raise. Mahito deciding to fight the only people that can hurt him and then getting cooked for it will never not be funny. Is no one going to talk about how peak the animation and voice acting? It was really good. It was actually very, very good. I liked it. I hope Shigaraki wins. JJK fans. I hope Mahito loses. Oh my. Wonderful. The most dangerous game of tag. That is true. That is very true. Oh yeah, that is very true. I like this. This is probably my favorite comment in this video. The most dangerous game of tag. Yeah. It's either instantly get decayed or just get treated like your Play-Doh. That is true. Mahito tries to kiss Shigaraki is the most Mahito thing ever. Yeah, I don't know. I think the moment I knew that I was very, very wrong, and that was when Mahito starts running away from Shigaraki. I was like, yeah, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. You see, this is the problem I'm having with my phone. I hope it didn't go off this whole time, but hope this is the only time. Anywho, I can't be mad about this result. I can't be mad about the result of this death battle. It was done really, really well. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of the video. I'll end the video right there, guys. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed my reaction. If you guys didn't enjoy my reaction today, be sure to smash the like button, comment, share those good things. So you guys see more content of me doing more death battles reactions like this in the future. However, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. Join the DRP Guild today so you won't miss a single video from my channel with those reactions to Hololive, reactions to death battles, any other reaction videos, main content series, get to see it on this channel. So be sure to comment, subscribe, most importantly, have fun and join a journey with me. So as always, guys, this is your boy Dino signing out. Have a nice day, stay awesome, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, peace.